Hello. Okay, so I'm gonna get much better at this, especially since I started doing this, but I wanted to share what I was making for dinner tonight, and I'm making, well, spaghetti and a turkey meat sauce, but a little bit different. So the spaghetti that I'm using is it's spaghetti squash. And there's the meat sauce. I think it looks good, but I don't know, maybe on camera it doesn't look as great. I think it does. Anyway, so just a rundown, even though I didn't like go step by step with video, but maybe the people who are more auditory learners will appreciate this. But really quick, I had a good sized spaghetti squash actually. This is 1/2 of it. And I'm not using the entire thing just because it was so big. Ooh, the skin is so hot. But I had this sucker. This is half. Well, a little bit more than half just because my knife skills aren't the greatest. But I cut the spaghetti squash in half and I de-seed it and put it in a compost bin. And I actually rinsed off some seeds and I'm drying them. I'm gonna actually try to plant them. But so I split it in half, and then I this wonderful porcelain dish, and I cover it some paper towels that are nice and moist, and I actually just pop it in the microwave. I used to roast these big giant vegetables in the oven, and it would take a long time. Smells super good, but because this is for dinner and I just wanted it to be quick, I popped in the microwave. But I used to make like the baby's baby food this way with like sweet potatoes and butternut squash and things like that. Anyway, I popped each half in the microwave for about 11 to 15 minutes. And again, the paper towel was moist, like there was they weren't wrung out all the way, so that squash needed a lot of moisture. Anyway, so then once those were done, I took them out, I let them cool for a little bit, and then I just to town. Oops. So I went to town, I had this puppy set up like this, gonna lean it over, and then I just forked it down, and then it ended up like this. So this is like the leftover that I didn't use today for dinner, but I'm going to use probably tomorrow during lunch, like in a salad. Maybe I'll just reuse it for dinner tomorrow. But so to prepare the meat sauce, I just cut up a few garlic cloves, some onion, got those nice and heated up, put the meat in there. I always like to just one pan because I just don't like a mess. And so this is already like a pretty big mess for me. It bothers me. So I usually like to clean up really well as I'm going. Look at, ooh, it's ASMR. But I got the meat ready. I went and took some nice little shears out to the garden and I cut up some of our, oh my gosh. What a Swiss chard. I'm gonna think of it. I was like, what's the Parks and Rec episode? It's Swiss chard. And I chopped it up. Once the onions were nice and translucent, I put the turkey meat in there, seasoned it up, put those Swiss chard in there. Then I transferred it over to a bowl, a nice serving bowl, and then I let the juice and the oils and everything from that turkey meat kind of cook off in the pan, and then I added some butter and I put this half of it back into the pan and sauteed it just a little bit. And then once it was sauteed enough, I placed it back into this dish. Then I placed the meat back into the dish, and actually, because I like to recycle my jars, I got this creamy tomato basil pasta sauce from Trader Joe's, and I dumped the sauce into the pan. There's always like a little bit extra in the jar. I'm gonna turn this on low. Actually, I'm gonna turn it off. And so I actually put some oat milk, just like maybe a 1/4 cup of oat milk into the jar. to get the rest of the, so this is the oat milk I used from Trader Joe's. And I just shook it up just to get the jar nice and clean, and I poured it in there, and it made the sauce a little bit more liquidy, just because it was super thick and I didn't want it to start sticking to the pan. I mean, I didn't want to use water, and so the oat milk has a nice little creamy flavor to it. And I cannot dairy, it makes my tum-tums hurt, so I always use I always use oat milk or almond milk. I don't like soy milk.
She uses French fries.
I don't like soy milk or anything like that. So yeah, and I poured that in there, let that simmer up. And so now I'm going to plate a plate. And yeah, because I did some zucchini chips in a different video and I never got a picture of the finished product, but I will get one for this one. So we'll see how it goes. I will in just a sec. Okay. So Molly, don't do that, please.
Okay, so Mommy, can you give me milk?
What do you think, bud?
It's good.
I haven't tried it yet.
Unenthusiastic.
Here's the thing about plans.
Good.
You set out one thing in mind, and before you know it, you're in the middle of something completely different. But here's the other thing. If you embrace that change, if you just go with it, you might find something unexpected.
What do you think, Berks?
It's good.
You ever expected.
But it would be better if you got me milk.
Oh, okay.
Flavors are so delicious.
Do you like the noodles, Molly?
I like noodles.
Me too. I like the noodles.
They're super good, huh? Yay. Well, even though that guy was a little unenthusiastic, I think they'll eat all of their dinner.